everyone, Jeff Horowitz with Dentists in the Know, and we are here at the Chicago Midwinter Dental Meeting, and it is our first interview of the day. So excited because I am with one of my besties in the industry, Erica Zerante. I finally said it right. I have known you for how long, and I have never pronounced your name correctly.
That's all right. You're one of many.
Yeah.
I'm not offended.
Well, you're just Erica to me.
That's
So
right, yeah.
Anyway, Erica is actually in charge of business development and strategic partnerships with Pearl AI. And they are a great educational partner for Dentists in the Know. We feel like it's such an important piece of what we do diagnostically. But the first question I want to ask you is, first of all, how did you get into dentistry? Because you've been in this industry for a while now.
That's true. The way I got into dentistry is an interesting story. So I am the daughter of a dentist. So
Which I just found out.
I've been in the dental industry. I've been adjacent to the dental industry my entire
Now, did you
life.
ever work in the office?
I get that question all the time.
Yeah.
Were you an assistant? Yes. But my job at my dad's office when I was 12 years old to probably 16 or 17 was janitor.
There you go.
On the weekends.
But
yes.
you can't help what you see.
I
Yeah,
spent a lot of
yeah.
time there, so it was a very familiar environment to me, and maybe gave me a leg up when I finally got my first opportunity.
And then,
in the industry.
but you ended up going into like the technology side, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, how can you not be interested in dental technology? I
Right.
think what is really special about the way that we apply technology within this industry has everything to do with there's so much of this industry is driven by small business owners.
Right.
Who are, of course, science-minded and interested in advancing the standard of patient care that they offer. And like they do that through technology. Like in dentistry, we're heavy in AI now. 3D printing's been a huge deal for dentistry for a long time and only will persist. CAD/CAM kind of speaks for itself. I mean, this is a unique...
I mean, that's what we started talking about way
exactly.
back when, you know,
Yeah.
CAD/CAM was just becoming big in the general population of dentists. So,
Yes, but even like compared to other facets of medicine, like dental technology is impressive.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So what made you make the transition over to Pearl?
I have an interesting story about that, actually. And so I'm going to take you back to post-COVID, 21, 22.
We try not to think of
I
those
know,
days.
but it's
But
when
it is
happened.
where Dentists in the Know started. So
it?
yeah, we can thank COVID for that.
Oh, yeah.
So
Well, we had to
we
get...
were bored and we wanted a drink.
So, that kind of
together,
was,
not
that was
alone,
kind of the
right?
theme
Yeah,
of that
yeah.
era.
We wanted to drink
Yes.
together, not just so we wouldn't be totally pathetic.
Totally.
Yeah.
I definitely have had a couple of drinks on the Date's Happy Hour
Yeah.
myself. So yeah, around that time, I had just had my third child. I had 3 under 3, so obviously had my hands full. Had a amazing career at Voco, but was interested in, of course, technology. Like I said, it's such a exciting place to be in the industry. And because I have all these kids now in such a short amount of time, I'm also moving house from the city to the suburbs.
Okay.
And so my story with Pearl actually begins in Facebook groups. So I'm a new...
It all begins with Facebook. Yeah.
I never really I wasn't that big into Facebook, to be honest. And I
Well,
wouldn't
you
say
told
I
me
am
this
now.
story earlier, and I
Yeah.
was like, it just completely resonated because I see what goes on in local groups. But please
Yes.
tell your story.
So I joined like my neighborhood Facebook groups because I'm looking for, I don't know anybody. I don't have a plumber. I don't have a contractor. I got a new house. This is my reason. So what I noticed is I'd, ask for a reference for a
Right.
contractor, say, and I'd get like maybe 6 reviews or 6 comments, and then I would notice in these same groups, moms would post something like, hey, I took my kid to this dentist and they got diagnosed with 4 cavities, but I don't trust it. And the amount of comments and engagement on posts like that would be like 75, 80, 90
Yeah.
comments. And these moms who no one can blame them for wanting the best for their children and wanting to feel confident in whatever kind of care that they're going to pay for, that they're going to provide for especially for their children. It sounded like, don't trust these dentists. Dentists are scam artists, worse than mechanics.
Right.
And it hurts. I mean, like I said, my father's a dentist. I have friends like you and many others who are dentists. I know that this is not true.
Right.
But there is a trust and communication gap that has existed as long as dentistry has existed, as long as x-rays have existed at least, where simply like you can read an x-ray and you know that you're prescribing the right kind of treatment for that patient, but they can't read it. And it's amplified 10x when it's a mom making these decisions and having to impart trust on the dentist on behalf of their child.
Yeah.
So it really, at the same time, I saw Pearl. I think I saw it actually here at Chicago Midwinter. I think it was even before it was FDA
And
cleared.
just real quickly, just for anyone listening or watching that is not familiar with Pearl, I can't imagine how you wouldn't be, because you guys have really done an incredible job at letting the dental industry, through education, letting the dental industry know how important this technology is to practice, to the revenue cycle in dental offices. But if you would just give a quick overview of what Pearl AI does.
Sure. So Pearl is a company that was spun out of a non-dental company called Gum Gum that used the similar kind of technology that we use, which is called computer vision in a different industry.
Okay.
Computer vision is effectively a very narrow lane of artificial intelligence that allows the computer to read an image and transpose it into data. And so it's kind of like artificially mimicking the relationship between our eyeballs and our brains.
Okay.
If that's
Makes
basically
sense.
what we do. But our core platform called Second Opinion is using this sort of technology to read X-rays, surface areas of concern. We were the first company to receive FDA clearance for pathological detections, and as well now, I'm happy to say we're also the first company to receive FDA clearance for CBCT.
We're going to get into that because that's my jam.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
yeah.
Yes.
So why then would this technology be important for really every dental office to have? I think if we go back to your story, we talk about this trust issue. And I know for me that as long as I've been doing dentistry, it doesn't matter how big the x-ray is on the screen. If you point to a little gray area that's a little bit grayer or a little bit blacker or a little bit whiter, the patients just kind of nod their head. And they're like, oh, yeah, I see what you're talking about. But then they go in the Facebook groups and they're like, I'm not sure. He pointed at something. And remember, we used to do that like on a 1-inch square, right? So, but even as big as we make these images, it still doesn't tell the whole story. And I think there's still some doubt. So speak to how Pearl helps build that trust in the dentist-patient relationship.
Yeah, when you're doing that exact same exercise with a patient, you found something concerning, it's a cavity, it's a periapical radiolucency, whatever it is, when you're using it with Pearl, we're colorizing everything.
Yeah.
I like to say it's a Google map filter. So doctor, your patients can use the exact same
So
skill
do you see
set.
this light gray versus this slightly lighter versus this slightly darker gray?
It's like using a map versus Google Maps.
Yeah.
It's night and day. But like the patients who use Google Maps to find your office are using that exact same skill set to see what you see and then, of course, accept their treatment plan.
Right. So, and a few other companies have emerged on the market. I know you guys were really pioneers in this industry and using it for dentistry. What makes Pearl different than some of the other companies maybe that have emerged in this arena?
Yes, you're right. We do have a few competitors now. And look, rising tide, what do they say? Rising tide raises all ships.
Yep.
Yes, I have found that to be massively true, especially
competition
in the
is
recent
good.
past.
Like
It's good.
it makes all of us better.
It makes us better, and it also actually this is a new category for just dental technology in general. So the more noise about it is great for everybody.
Right.
Because it's important that this sort of thing, because it elevates standard of care, because it fixes that communication and trust issue between dentists and their patients, it needs to become standard of care as quickly as possible. If that means competition in space, then let's go.
Yeah, and that's a great thing. So there's a reason that, first of all, for me, anything that builds trust in the doctor-patient relationship is an automatic no-brainer.
Yeah.
It's not truly an expense if there's more buy-in from the patients and, you see the difference in your case acceptance rates when that happens. But I think that there's also something that a lot of dentists don't see, and something that you're very passionate about is how you can help the revenue cycle in
Yes.
dental offices, and also how we use our teams, how we use our staff, and the amount of time that they're spent doing tasks that maybe they shouldn't have to do.
Repetitive,
Right.
menial
So maybe
tasks.
talk to that about the
Yeah.
revenue cycle, about and about how it can help us improve our staff utilization.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's really my job at
Yeah.
Pearl. Like with strategic partnerships with imaging software companies, with practice management software companies, and more. I am building the future of
Love it.
what utility is AI going to provide, and what value is it going to provide, not just today, but also in 2 years, in 5
Right.
years, in 10 years. And, my goal is to free the industry from these menial, important, no doubt, but like menial, repetitive, sometimes data entry tasks.
Right.
And that's also, and there's value in automating it. We're investing in agentic AI. We are just simply like automating a ton of these workflows that are rote and necessary right now so that dentists and their teams as well can focus on patient care, on expanding services, on things that actually matter.
A revenue cycle,
Yes,
insurance approvals. I mean,
there's
ta-
so much.
right.
There is so much to fix in the revenue cycle management, whole process.
Oh, isn't that the truth?
And so much of it, AI can do it so easily. I mean, for example, we just implemented a new feature product into our platform Second Opinion called Image Check. What
Okay.
Image Check does is it uses the same kind of technology, not to find pathologies, but to assess the quality of the x-ray.
I love that.
It's amazing.
Because
and
there
it's
is a
so
lot of
simple.
disparity, amongst
And
sensors and how dentists take their x-rays.
We've learned that
Yeah.
15% of insurance denials are simply due to either the wrong x-ray attached, low quality x-ray, you sent a image of tooth 14, but it should have been tooth number 12.
I'm actually surprised it's not more than that.
It's-
I mean, I know how many goof ups we've had where claims have come back and we're like, how did that get
Yes.
sent?
And it's simple stuff
Yeah.
too that AI
Yeah.
can check. You got the birth date wrong
Right.
on the claim, and so it's just denied, even though everything else in it was
Yeah.
perfect. So there's so much just like menial data entry that needs to be perfect, or it's going to get denied, and also needs to be automated so that we can free all of the team members at the dental office up to do more important
Yeah.
things.
So we were talking about CBCT technology and how, I've been preaching that this should be implemented at every new patient visit.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned. It's going to be the standard of care, especially with the movement towards dentists being more like oral health physicians,
Yeah.
and the oral systemic connection, talking about airway, talking about joints, talking about the foundation. But I found that one of the barriers to dentists wanting to get into CBCT technology is that they are concerned about the read. Like, what am I going to miss? What am I going to see that I'm not really aware of? And I'll tell dentists, I can help you do a quick overread on this, but if you don't want to learn that, you can always send it off for an overread by an
Yes.
oral maxillofacial radiologist. But I think the fact that you're starting to bring in technologies now that will help dentists get that quick overread, I think that's going to be the big game changer.
I do too, and you're right. Like, I think the concern lies in liability. Like I'm responsible for everything I image, but am I
Right.
going to miss something? And it's very valid for
Yeah.
sure. So yeah, I mean, that's one of the value drivers that we see as a potential for Second Opinion 3D.
Yeah.
And just in terms of like that we do with x-rays, like surfacing, like, hey doctor, you need to look here. And maybe it does mean that it needs to go out for a human review, for a radiologist.
But the diagnosis that comes with that, the comprehensive dentistry that
Yeah.
gets done, like, there's not a cost. I know some dentists will just pass on the cost, even if they have to send it out for an overread.
Right.
But it is nothing when you compare it to the comprehensive
That
dentistry
is-
that gets
We've
done.
talked a couple
Yeah,
times now
yeah.
about barriers to entry, and like the percentage of CBCT files that are actually reviewed by a dental radiologist is really small,
Yeah.
like under 5%
Yeah.
of them, maybe even under 2% of them. And so there's a huge opportunity to improve this through technology
Yeah.
and make it make it easy, make it every single image, make it much less expensive, and make it immediate.
I love it that Pearl is going to help bring more CBCT utilization to the industry,
and the
because
list
it's been needed for so long.
There's so much opportunity also for like new variants and pathological detections on 3, because you can see so much more, right?
Right.
So like we're going to get to a place where the way that we judge the success of second opinion 3D, and this is going to happen really fast, is in how many lives have we saved.
Right. I love it.
Not just in like how many detections. I mean,
now
like,
you're talking my language.
I mean, it comes into sleep. It comes into detecting cancer. Like it's really, really exciting for me. That's what lights my fire too.
And you know, our good friend Mike Buckner, you know, he has the whole story about how AI changed, you know, his path with his wife saved his family.
Yes.
Absolutely amazing. So one last thing, maybe not as impactful as saving lives, but I know something you're really passionate about is minimally invasive dentistry.
That's true.
So talk to how Pearl facilitates minimally invasive dentistry.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's very obvious. Like we talked a lot about patient trust and being able to enable your patients to understand what you're seeing on the x-ray and why you're treatment planning what you are. But there's also something to be said about utilizing a tool like Second Opinion that sees better than what human rods and cones are able to do. I think that we're able, on average, depending on the quality of your eyesight, 30 to 50 shades of gray, where what we do with Second Opinion is up to 1,000. So blah, blah, blah. What this means is we are able to detect disease states earlier than what you would be able to do without AI. And that opens up more opportunity for you to apply minimally invasive dental techniques rather than like by the time that it's able to be seen by a human, we're doing a filling, we're doing a root canal, you know, we're doing something
by
more.
the time you could actually show it to a patient where it means something to them, right? Which takes us all the way back to the trust thing. Which,
absolutely. You know, the number one thing probably that you can do for a patient, so many people have incipient lesions. You're not going to fill it. I know you're not going to fill it. You're going to do a curodont, you're going to do a fluoride treatment, we're going to talk about hygiene. There's so many different methods that we can apply to that sort of thing. But when you can tell a patient like, hey, this is here, I see it, it's real, you see it too. It's going to get worse unless we do X, Y, and Z, whatever it is that you're prescribing. They self-diagnose. They're like, yeah, what else can I do? I don't want it filling next time I see you. I don't want a crown next time I see you. So let's go. Let's do it today. So case acceptance, especially in the category of minimally invasive dentistry, just skyrockets.
Well, what a no-brainer. I can't thank you enough for coming by. I mean, this is my pleasure because getting to spend time with you, seeing you again is just always special to me. But thanks for being a friend to Dentists in the Know. Thanks for what you're doing for the industry, and thanks for building the future of dentistry. I just think this is such a critical topic right now, and what you guys are doing at Pearl, I really think will change this industry. So, folks, if you're at the Midwinter, go by and see Pearl. If not, reach out to them. They are a great bunch of folks. Great educational partner to Dentists in the Know. Erica, thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
And we'll see you next time on Dentists in the Know.